here because the outside world rejects you.
We've all seen it, images throughout the years, even small clips within the movie itself of the turtles in the original Ninja Turtles movie when they're at the farmhouse with their headbands on backwards as they train. The story behind this was always something I've been interested in, and I imagine you have as well. Recently I've come across additional info on this scene, and I figured we'd talk about it in this video. Was there more to this training that we didn't see? Images and stories we've heard seem to suggest so, and just from what I've seen looking into this, I would have to say yes. There is a little more to this that we didn't get to see in the movie, so let's waste no more time and take a look. So I actually planned on doing this video a while back. I had seen an old archived eBay listing of storyboards of this scene that explained it in pretty good detail. I thought I had saved the page, but when I went back to look for it, it was gone. I must have deleted it or something on accident. Now, as if by a stroke of fate, I was gifted one of those storyboard script books of the 1990 movie from the producer and the writer themselves, which is actually one of the coolest gifts I've ever received. And I gotta say, if you're a fan of this movie like I am, it's worth getting. In the description, it says final ass shot script version, but this thing has some things that are not in the movie, so by the sounds of things, this stuff was shot and just isn't in the movie. If we never get deleted scenes of this movie released, this is as close as we're gonna get, I feel like. There's little things here and there sprinkled throughout the book that are not in the final cut of the movie. And in one of these sections is where I saw the same training scene storyboards that I had seen before. And let me paint you a picture of exactly what is happening in this part of the story. So as we see in the movie, the turtles are forced to retreat after the Foot invades April's place. They go back to the farmhouse, and this is where there are some slight differences. In the movie, when Raphael wakes up is when the turtles all start training together, and eventually they come in communication with Splinter, and then they go back to New York. In the version in this book, after the turtles communicate with Splinter, we get the start of the training sequence, and it goes on for quite a bit before the turtles go back to New York. It seems like in the script they really wanted to dive into and flesh out this new technique that the turtles were learning. In fact, the new training or technique is actually mentioned a bit in the old trading cards for the movie. Card number 97 says, "The new fighting method, rotating his mask until his eyes are covered, Leonardo challenges his brothers to attack him. Despite their best efforts, they can't get the better of him. Now they must all learn this new fighting method, passed on telepathically by Splinter, a method of supreme mind control." It continues in card number 98. Although they have some difficulty at first, the turtles soon master the outrageous new fighting technique. They practice over and over again until every reflex is perfectly tuned. So yeah, even back then when these cards were released, you could tell that there was a little bit more to this training sequence. And now with this new recent script/storyboard book, we see that there was more to this part. We start off with Michelangelo and Raphael's weapons meeting as they strike. As Mikey swings his nunchuck, Raph catches it with his eye. Michelangelo kicks at Raphael, and we see that Leonardo is sitting on top of a split trail fence and Donatello is standing next to him as they both watch Raphael and Michelangelo spar. There's still images of this that I've seen before, and just like in these still images, the storyboards have Donatello wearing the same straw hat. This is when we get a voiceover of Leonardo saying, "Okay, hold it," and Michelangelo and Raphael lower their weapons, breathing heavily, and say what? Leonardo tells them, "Stop trying to overpower each other. Remember what Splinter said." And then Michelangelo goes on to say, "This is the way we always fight." And Raphael chimes in, "Yeah, geez, pretty soon he's gonna start asking us to snatch pebbles from his hand," a funny reference to the old Kung Fu television series. Leonardo says, "Alright, look," as he hops off the fence and stands between them as he rotates his mask until his eyes are covered. He says, "Okay, attack me, all three of you at once." Raphael tells him, "Leo, what are you doing?" Don goes on to say, "You'll get hurt." At this point, Leonardo lashes out with the flat of his katana and whacks Raphael in the arm. Leo says, "Come on." Raph tells him, "Hey, knock it off, that hurt." And then there's another whack and Leo says, "Come on." Raph replies, "Leo, I'm warning you." Leo whacks him one last time and exclaims, "Come on." And then this does it, and Raph draws his sai and jumps at his blindfolded brother. But Leo's katana strikes first, disarming Raphael. Raphael stands for a moment stunned and then draws his other sai and motions for his two brothers to join him. All three of them come at Leo. 1, 2, 3, Leo drives back all their thrust. Raph, Mikey, and Don set themselves up one more time. This is it though, they go all out on him. And then again, 1, 2, 3, and Leo is still standing untouched. Michelangelo yells out "radical" and Donatello yells out "eclectic," which is kind of funny because that's what he says at the beginning of Secret of the Ooze. Then, while Mikey gives Donnie a look, Leo turns to Raphael, who hasn't said anything. Then finally, he says, "Just call me Grasshopper," as the turtles realize the potential of their discovery. The training of this technique continues outside of the barn during the day. Raphael, with his mask turned covering his eyes, is trying to learn the new technique, but he's not quite getting it. The storyboards say blindfolded Raphael jerks about attempting to see. His three brothers easily get through his defense. The storyboards say Raphael stumbles about while the other playfully jab at him. Then it says Donnie steps up to try and repels a few blows with his own mask turned and is excited about his success. Raphael grumbles. During this, Casey and April return to the farmhouse in the old pickup truck and unload some groceries, but we come back to this in a minute. It goes back to the turtles' training. This time, Michelangelo has his mask turned sideways. He fights well. Raphael steps in to try again, pushing Mikey out of the way. Donatello whacks Raphael on the shell with his bow, and Raph lifts his mask, trying to peek, but the other three turtles call foul. Then it cuts to a scene that we all know, Casey cutting the vegetables with the katana. Then, just like in that scene that makes it to the movie, he gives April a massage. As the turtles are walking in from their new training, Mikey indicates his shoulder is sore also as he does the joke with the turtle wax. And everyone's happy because Michelangelo is joking around again. Now it's nighttime and the turtles are back in the barn, and there's a lantern in the center on the floor lighting the scene. Raphael, mask turned, defends himself against the brothers. This time he's got it figured out. Raphael straightens his mask and looks at his brothers and gives them a smile. Now I believe the training continues the next day, as the next scene is set up in late in the afternoon now. An apple with a bite taken out of it comes into frame as a turtle hand catches it. In this session of the new training, the turtles play a game of Ninja Hot Potato where the apple is tossed around and whoever catches it must defend themselves against the other three turtles while taking a bite of the apple and passing it on. Mikey catches it first, takes a bite, defends a blow from Leo, and then tosses the apple up into the air. Raphael catches the apple, Don tries to sweep him with his bow staff, and Raphael does a somersault through the air, and when he lands, they all advance on him. Raphael takes a bite of the apple and laughs, and then throws it up for the next turtle to catch. Leonardo leaps out of frame. Donatello and Raphael watch him. Leonardo lands facing them, and the apple is transfixed on the sword. Leonardo, holding the apple in his mouth, pulls out the sword, and then defends himself against the others. Leonardo then drops the apple core into his hands and sees that it is finished. Leonardo throws the apple off into the sky and the game is over. The turtles gather, sweaty and breathing heavy, and exchange looks and nod to each other. Moments after this, the turtles approach Casey and April, who are sitting on the porch of the farmhouse, and Leonardo simply says, "It's time to go back." You know, after reading all this, it kind of makes that moment when they're back in the sewer defending their home against the Foot Clan have a little more meaning when Raphael's eating the apple right before he's about to fight them. It was probably a callback to this training scene that was left in the movie. But that's it for this training sequence and how it originally was going to go down. Leave your thoughts down below in the comments section. Also, if you enjoyed this video, let me know down below. Maybe I can do a couple more like these out of the different stuff in this script book that didn't make it to the final movie. Let me know if you enjoyed this style of video. But as always, thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel and you want more turtles in your life, remember to hit that subscribe button. That's all we talk about on here is new, old, and upcoming turtle stuff. You're not going to want to miss any of that. Thanks once again for watching, everyone. I will see you in a little bit with another video. Take care.
Pizza dude's got 30 seconds.